Will I be able to read 3,157 pages in 1 month? Meaning 100 pages per day. At least. I think so, so let's see now my October TBR. October, it's my favorite month of the year. I just love, adore spooky season. Halloween, it's my favorite holiday. And as a result of that, what I'm going to be doing this month is read a little bit of a blend between dark academia, books about evil characters, also a little bit of witchy stories, and let's face it, some books that will get you this Halloweeny momentum. And let's start with perhaps one of the most exciting releases for a lot of people, me included, Babel by Arif Kwan. Honestly, the setting will be deeply academic. We will be following this boy called Robin. He is an orphan boy from China and he has been taken under the wing of this weird professor, and upon arriving to England, he kind of like discovers that he is about to get groomed to enter in this very elite translator society called Babel. And so in there, what he will discover is that these people are doing a special kind of magic based on the translations, and this power though is honestly used for conquering all the cities, all the lands. Will be placed in the dilemma of what are you supposed to do when you are learning this magic but you're also helping to harm your country. It's supposed to be a very good blend between character, plot driven, also these characters usually are very great, and she has this amazing ability to just tear your heart apart. So after that, I'm gonna tune this down a little bit and I will be reading A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik. Also a dark academia story, but it's young adult, so I'm expecting the stakes to be a little bit lower. Deadly Education follows the story of this academy, the proper school. It's magical, there are no rules, no teachers. The only rule is to remain alive. The monsters there, and it seems that the story kicks off with our girl who is a little bit of a grumpy character, and with her having this amazing power that it's going to be able to really transform the academy and to start learning its secrets. This is either a love it or hate it story, so I'm kind of like a little bit scared. It seems our character, it's a little bit grumpy in that it's not really easy to connect with her, but on the other hand, it seems that the world building and like everything around its monsters and the academy and the powers that are unraveling are really outstanding. We move to the second category, which is kind of like evil characters, evil witches, and the inner story of those characters. And so from starters, I will be reading Circe by Madeline Miller. I am truly epically excited about this. Song of Achilles was one of my favorite reads last year. I reckon it was beautiful, it was slow, you could taste the love and the prose that the author just shared with us readers, right? And the story was utterly heartbreaking. And Circe's story, it's also kind of sad. And I'm really wanting to get into this mindset of, ooh, who is this evil witch god? And let's get her story. The setting here, it's obviously Greek. We will have Suse, who is the daughter of the god Helios. So she is not really one of the most powerful daughters of this god, and she early on is kind of like shunned away. So she kind of like seeks refuge from humans, and she starts to play around with potions, and very quickly she becomes kind of like a witch. She has a talent for witchcraft, and that path gains her a lot of enemies that she will need to face. If you like this story or if you have read it, because I reckon it's quite popular, let me know. Also, if you haven't read it, read it now with me, I would love to. And then I will also read the book of Gothal, which is also kind of like a retelling. It's the story of the witch that trapped Rapunzel in the tower. We'll have a little bit more of a pagan gods kind of story. We will also understand this character that seems to be different from the other girls, and she early on is shunned from the village and she needs to take refuge in this tower called Gothal, which is supposed to be a place of refuge for all women. Surprisingly, all of the reviews said that it's kind of like a hug, a cozy read, and we move now to a set of stories that have something that really screamed to me, this is an October read. And we will start with Vaspatine. In the last quarter, I've been reading her other books, Sorcery of Thorns and An Enchantment of Ravens, and absolutely loved them. The settings and also the tone were very different, and this one, it stands out because it seems that it's even more different to those other books. So I'm not sure how I will be feeling, but the story and the overall vibe, it's something like Hell yeah. And in terms of setting, we will have this city that is going to be plagued by some evil, and our character, it's a nun, but she is kind of like dealing with the dead. So we will see spirits, we will see holy relics. It's supposed to be very plot driven, and so she is one of these nuns that has been trained to really ease the spirits of the dead and ensure that they can rest. And one day it seems that something terrible happens, and the only option that our girl has is to kind of like use this holy relic, and so she is able to manage this power, and it seems that the story will unfold from there. Moving to a downright fantasy romance new adult story, we will have Kingdom of the Feared by Kerry Maniscalco. I honestly loved book 1 and book 2. In essence, it's a story about witches and about demons, and the demons are the 7 princes of hell, which at the same time are the 7 deadly sins. And so how amazing is that? And now you need to blend it in with a little bit of cuisine in the first book, and you know, a little bit of a sexy character. Then second book, new adult, and the stakes got higher. We will get a little bit more about the witchy stuff. And book 3, let's see, it's the conclusion of the series, and I just honestly cannot wait for the Emilia to happen. Amazing narrator in the audiobook, so really recommend. And this story will be set in this semi-Italian setting, and our character, it's part of this coven of witches. One day something terrible happens to the sister of our main girl, Emilia, and she will start truly a path of revenge. She will call upon a demon, and that demon is going to be no other than Wrath, one of the 7 princes of hell, kind of like as in Full Metal Alchemist, but in sexy. Also, I will be reading The Undertaking of Heart and Mercy, and in here we will be having this dual point of view story where we will be following these 2 characters that are set in this world that it's almost magical, and one of the characters is kind of like a marshal, and the other one, it seems to be also dealing with the dead, and it seems that they really hate each other, but you know, one day they will start corresponding the other without really knowing who is who, and a bond in a relationship will start from there. It seems that it's weird, but in a good way. It seems that it's funny, and it seems that it also has a little bit of romance, so I'm honestly here for it. And then last but not least, and this is gonna be a body read, Long Live the Pumpkin Queen. This is the story about Sally, the Nightmare Before Christmas Sally. It turns out Sally kind of like makes similar mistakes than Jack, so she did not learn that much. But it seems that one day she realizes that she's, you know, not happily ever after, and she will be wandering with Zero, as in the movie, and she will discover this land of the dream, and what she discovers and what she does could ruin not only Halloween Town but every other realm. It's from Shay Enshaw, the same writer as The Wicked Deep and also Winterwood, and I really enjoyed her standalones because I found them really atmospheric. So at least if I'm not really expecting an amazing plot here, I do expect to have this very rich world of first Halloween and then, you know, the dreamland, and I really want to get back into those characters. So let me know down below, what are the books that you will be reading this month? If there's any that we overlap, if there's any suggestion that you would like to make me, because you know, it's still time. I really would like to hear your thoughts, and I cannot wait to chat. And if you want to also get in the mood and read books with great, amazing characters, watch this video, which I believe you will really like.